All right, let's hop into this. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Let's Keep Talking. I'm your host, Braxton Gilbert, and will always be your host. I'll always be the host of the show, unless, I don't know. I don't know when in reality I wouldn't be the host of this show. Not the reality I want to be in. If you're listening to this episode, if you're watching this episode, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. Thanks so much for dropping in. If this is your first time listening to an episode of Let's Keep Talking, this show is about how life is challenging, growing, changing, and showing me things emotionally, spiritually, physically, but mostly emotionally and spiritually. And that's what I'm here to do every week, talking about how life has developed me, how it's changing me, and what my findings are at this point in my experience of life. If this isn't your first time, yo, what's up? You're my people. I appreciate you rocking with me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. It means the world to me. It really, really does. And if you like the show, hit me with a message, man. Hit me with a review. Tell me what you think, how you like it. What do you like? I just want to connect with you. And I want to know that this is doing some work that you find helpful. I want to know this is doing good work. All right? Cool. Episode 41, let's get into it. Today's episode is titled Swapping Fuel. Swapping fuel, baby. And how healing killed my motivation. This is honestly such a great episode. I've been so excited this week preparing for this episode because this is a very deep surgery, okay? This is a very deep surgery. What I mean by that is this is a ton and ton and ton of self-reflection that I've done over the last year and a half. This is a ton of work that I've done to look into myself, to my psyche, and say, why? Why are you the way you are? How can we take what feels like two separate personalities and integrate them? How can we integrate the deep, dark, controlling aspects to my personality? And it's not just been an armchair philosophy. I think that's what you call it, armchair philosopher. It's not just been sitting, looking inwards. It's also been doing some experiments. I mean, me and my girlfriend, Lauren, we lived in New York for a month as a method of freeing myself from this workaholic compulsive setting that I've been in for almost 10 years now. So you're in for a treat. Today's episode is about swapping fuel. And long story short, if you're about to dip out of this episode, you just want a 30-second summary. Here it goes, okay? I didn't lose my interest and my natural proclivities to work hard, my natural God-given talents to work hard. I just have realized it's time to change the fuel source. As the workaholic kind of lifestyle started to lose its glamour about a year and a half ago, it wasn't because I no longer wanted to work. It wasn't because I no longer wanted to work hard. It wasn't because I no longer had an interest in developing great projects and doing awesome things with my life. It was because I was burning an old fuel source, and now it's time to swap it. All right, let's get into it. I lost my drive for work and pretty much decided that this whole work guy thing that I had developed was not what I wanted to be. This is about a year and a half ago, okay? I lost the whole drive to be this work guy thing, something I had paraded around and loved for so long. I started to lose the drive. Now, after taking some time away, and if you've been on this journey with me, you've heard quite a few episodes of steps in this healing process. Now I have achieved a clarity that's allowed me to see how I didn't lose my drive for work. I was just using a fuel source that was a decade old, and it was time for recalibration. Again, I say it again. Welcome to this episode, and I'm telling you, you're in for a treat today, man. This is some deep surgery work. I hope you can listen with an open heart, a tender ear, and mucho respect, baby. My work, you see, has always been from a place of frustration, from a place of not having, okay, from a place of lacking, I really want you to listen and pay attention to this main puzzle piece here, because it's really important that we establish what the old fuel was. I've always worked really hard. I've always put lots of hours into building business. I've always put lots of hours into whatever project I was involved in. I've always worked 16-hour days. I've always worked long and hard days, working. And about a year and a half ago, it started to kind of lose its pizzazz, baby. It started to lose it didn't feel right. And so I've been on a journey, and here's what I'm discovering, that my fuel source is old. So here's the fuel source. Here's what I've been using for so long. My work has always been, and I hope you can resonate with this. If so, there's some freedom ahead. My work has always been from a place of lacking, not being able to have. 24/7 obsession with being able to get what I want. And if I'm being honest, what that looked like for so long, and this kind of sounds funny because it sounds like an adolescent wet dream, but here's what I wanted for so long, and still to this day I'm beginning to, and that's not that I want this anymore. It's that it's a habit to use this pattern. And so now I'm beginning to relocate where I go for fuel, but this is where I've been forever. The dream of endless women and success. That has been my fuel source. So hear me out. My fuel source for years has been this desire, this need to rectify my childhood, my adolescence, the years of religious trauma. There were years of sexual repression, not being able to express myself sexually and get what I wanted. For years, that need as a young man of not being satisfied, not being able to express my manhood within sexuality, to be able to be the man that I am, when I saw that if I made enough money, I could have whatever the fuck I wanted. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. When I saw that, and it wasn't just a moment, that's the programming, that's the media, that's the music, it's the music we listen to, it's the videos we watch. We pick it up real quick, man. If you have money, if you got money and power, babe, you can do whatever you want. And for me, that was very, very seductive, because I thought, and not just thought, I didn't make a mistake. This is real. For years, I worked hard, and all the money I made, I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. And a lot of what I wanted to do was just straight up get back at the sexual repression. Go do whatever I wanted. So the fuel source I've used for years, man, for years, and it brings up energy just talking about it, has been this. Do whatever the fuck I want to do. Have enough money to do whatever the fuck I want to do. Be completely free to do whatever I want to do. And I apologize for the vulgarity. I apologize for the aggressiveness. It's not my intention to make it an aggressive show today or make an aggressive podcast, but this is an aggressive thing. This is an aggressive thing. It's some get back, baby. I'm not trying to be overly aggressive, but it's some fuck you stuff. It's fuck you, I'm gonna get what I want. You told me I can't have it, it's mine, right? Stop me. Try to stop me. I'm gonna get so powerful, get so much money, I can get whatever the hell I want to, whenever I want, and no one can tell me shit. I am God now. That has been the fuel source I've rocked with for so many years. So many years. My work has always been from a place of lacking, not being able to have, 24/7 obsession with being able to get what I want. And that was, as funny as it sounds, endless success, money, and women. Largely driven by getting back at sexual repression. Hear that out. Getting back at sexual repression and doing whatever I fucking wanted to with no limits. And I'm going to underline this because that's such a critical part of this conversation. Doing whatever I wanted with no limits. There is an inherent lack of discipline within that statement. There's an inherent adolescent expression in that. There's such a Hakuna Matata, Lion King. I never want to grow up. I want to stay in Neverland, and I want to do whatever I want with no limits. No limits. I'm starting to see in life that limits are beautiful. Limitations are beautiful, and that's the next episode probably. I wanted to do whatever I want, whatever the fuck I want with no limits. And that is a world which I would now describe as a life wasted. To spend my life doing that would be, in my opinion now as a grown man, it would be a life wasted on an adolescent wet dream. Oh, you want to fuck a bunch of women, or you want to have a bunch of money so you can have more sex with more women, you can feel more desired and more desired. It's like we're stuck in an adolescent phase here, man. And in all reality, after a while working from this place, so that fuel source, working from that fuel source, using that dream as fuel started causing problems. Okay, so today's episode, like I said, is about swapping fuel. So that was the fuel source. And not too long ago, I'd say about 2 years ago, it started to really rear its ugly head. It started to show me where, hey man, this whole get what I want to get what you want, man. Go out there and get it. Go out there and if you lust for it, you can have it, baby. Work your ass off. Go be free. Go do whatever you want. Go as far as you want with whoever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, baby. And if you got money, no one can tell you shit. That started to get a little stale. Because these were the other things that started to culminate in my life, started to solidify in my life as a result of this one-eyed beast that I had become in pursuit of satiation that was just outside of my reach. Here's the problems that started to pop up from the old fuel. I hope this is helping you already. 3 things. Lack of enjoyment of life, really. Lack of enjoyment. Feeling like I'm not, dude, look, you may be free, baby. You may be free to do whatever you can want, right? But are you happy? Are you happy, baby? Let's put a big question mark by that on our paper. Are you happy, dude? Because damn, bro. Dude, you meet somebody that driven, you got to ask them. You got to ask them. You all right, man? Are you okay, bro? Are you all right? I remember asking my therapist one time, could you be the best in the world at something and be healthy mentally? Because are you okay, dude? What's got you going so hard, man? What's got you going? It's so hard. And it's not being working really hard. It's the obsession, the absolute shaky hand, sweaty palm, teeth gritting, 24/7 working on getting what you want. Lack of enjoyment of life. Friends, parties, spending time with people you love. Do you enjoy life? Second thing, no deep relationships. Not duh, man. My romantic relationships have been suffering. They've never really had a chance, to be honest, because 90% of me was this one-eyed beast just relentlessly chasing down that dream of just endless sexuality and success and just endless consumption. My relationship started to suffer. They've never really had a chance. And lastly, the last problem from this fuel source, the last problem that this fuel source started to create for me was I realized that I was prolonging my sexual healing. So here's one of the biggest things about this old fuel source that really started to get old was as I've grown older, that fuel source has started to burn less efficiently. Why? Because it's not my reality anymore. I'm not sexually repressed. I'm not powerless. I'm a grown man with a great sexual relationship, and using the old fuel further perpetuated a reality that just wasn't real anymore. That third one for me is big. The problem from the old fuel is prolonging my sexual healing. This is the highlighter takeaway line from this that I want to just break down just for a minute with you. It's hard to heal from it when you're still using it. My dad likes to say the phrase, some people like to wear their past like a badge of honor and use it as a continuous excuse to excuse their behavior. And to me, it sounds like never growing up. Never growing up. Is growing up becoming the person you are that was because of your childhood, or becoming the person you could be in spite of your childhood? Think about that. Is growing up becoming who you are as a reaction to your upbringing, or is it becoming who you could be in spite of your upbringing? This is something that I think that for me was probably the kicker, to be honest with you. That was probably the kicker, because I had been using this pain from sexual oppression as I'd rerouted that to be an asset for me. It had become a great energy source. But now as a 25-year-old man, I don't want to play that game no more, man. I don't want to play this, I can't have it, so I want it bad, so I use that wanting to drive me to work. I don't want to play that game anymore, man. I want to embody sexuality. I want to enjoy sexuality presently. And I couldn't continue on my path of healing sexually and embodying sexuality when a huge part, my work, my achievement, my career, my foundation for myself and my future family was based on utilizing a fuel that was insistent on my lack of healing. So those are the problems with the old fuel, man. An example maybe of somewhere that you may not have healed yet. This is an example I wrote down, is being insignificant. It's hard to heal from it when you're still using it. Maybe, the fear, maybe the pain, maybe the trauma is being insignificant. You can achieve all there is, but has it touched your pain? Has it touched your pain? If you're using the fear of insignificance to drive your behaviors for work and for achievement, sure, you might be able to use it, right? Have you combated your wounds with healing, or simply rerouted the pain to be used as an asset? The second one is helpful at the time, but is a form of arrested development over time. So, here is some of the healing, man. Those are some of the problems with the fuel that I was using. And as I've healed many ways over the last 1 to 2 years, I've noticed less and less the ability to use that old pain, that old fuel for motivation. And in short, you could say, the healing that I have undergone has made my old fuel pretty obsolete. Here's the healing that's fucked up my drive. I got 3 of them. Here's the healing that's fucked up my drive. And then I'll talk about how I'm using a different fuel now and how it's been really awesome. And really, I'm starting to see a whole new world. A whole new world. The first point of healing that has truly touched the pain in my soul and began to change my behaviors, and now I'm having to learn how to renegotiate with the man I am now, not the man I used to be. So here's how I've healed. Number 1, sexual permission. Being able to get what I want. Being able to get what I want as a man, sexual permission, embodying the sexual emotions, the sexual sensations that were forbidden as a young child or a young man, and embodying those. Give myself sexual permission. Here's the interesting finding that I have found as I reflected on my behavior sexually, is I wanted sexual freedom for the longest time. For the longest time, I've been motivated by sexual freedom. Go wherever I want, do whatever I want, wherever I want, however I want, whatever. But in the healing process over the last couple of years, I've realized that sexual freedom, air quotes, sexual freedom to have endless lovers was a compromise I made with myself because I still couldn't enjoy sex because of religious trauma. It was like this: if I can't have the freedom to enjoy it, I'll have the freedom to do it with whoever I want. If I can't have the freedom to enjoy it, I'll have the freedom to have it with anyone I want. And I realized that this freedom that I was protecting so much, this freedom that I was driven by so much, was really a response, somewhat of a trauma response to the lack of sexual permission that I got as a young adolescent. Giving myself that sexual permission touched that pain, touched that nerve, and began to heal me. And as you can see, that was a huge fuck up for my fuel source. And to be honest, that has been a challenge because, what if I heal and I'm not as driven? What if I heal and I'm not as driven? That brings you to your values in life. What is it? I mean, what's the point of life, baby? Is it to collect money, or is it to heal? Is it to, achieve and to accumulate worldly resources and not worldly? I don't want to sound religious. Is it to get more stuff, or is it to be peaceful and loving and joyful? Is it to be okay? Second healing that fucked up my drive. I lost the need to be somebody. I lost the need through the healing process going into this compulsive workaholic layers, this onion of a man, of all the reasons I do what I do. One reason I found is that I need to be somebody. But here's what I found. I am me. And I enjoy connecting with others. And here's the thing. Trying to be important gets in the way of connecting with others. I learned in this healing that we think we want to be significant, but in reality, we want to be connected. We think we want to be special, but we want to be connected. We want to join the tribe with everyone else. We want to be a part of everyone else. It's a great thing to look at maybe the feelings you have of being significant and the man and being separate. Yeah, there's a great pride, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, that comes of being the man. But it's not a replacement for the connection with other people, the shared humanity with other people. Lastly, the healing that fucked up my drive. Oopsie, this one's a big one. I developed the ability to enjoy my life. I developed the ability to enjoy my life. This one sucks because once you enjoy your life, you don't have this throbbing pain and need to make it better. So, this all brings us to the present day. A man who isn't driven by the things he used to be driven by, or that used to drive him when he started. A man, through self-reflection, asking and listening, is starting to get a glimpse of what the man he is today wants. So here's where we're at, swapping fuel source. Here's the fuel source that we're looking at now. So here's the question. What the man wants now. What are those things? What do you want now, Brax? What do you want now? You saw that the old fuel source, this unhealed, need to be sexually repressed, going to get what's mine, driving, one-eyed, frustrated beast got you this far. But it's not going to work anymore, man. That fuel is, what did you say, coagulated? Is that a way to say it? All lumped up. It's no longer any good, man. That fuel's not going to burn well. And you know it because it hasn't been burning well for a couple of years now. It started to feel like it ain't it. It started to feel like this ain't it, man. This isn't the man you want to be. This is the man you became in response and in reaction to your upbringing. But this isn't the man you could be despite it. So, what do you want now, Brax? That is a question. What do you want now, man? My lady? What do you want now, my lady? What is it that at this point in your life you want? What is important to you now? Here are the two things. Here are the two things that have started to come up. If you could sum up my old fuel source in 2 words, I would probably say lust and frustrated. Something about significance, like the fucking need to be, maybe competition, lust and competition. That's probably the way I'd sum up the first fuel source. Here's the way that I would sum up what feels like the new, true fuel source for myself. Freedom. Freedom and pride. I can almost hear the cellophane wrapping coming off of those two values because they are brand new, baby. They are brand new. I still have the excitement that you have when you bring out a new gadget, a new phone, a new soundboard, a new pair of headphones, a new Bluetooth speaker. You're looking around at it and you're going, dude, what does this thing all do? This is awesome. These are new, man. These are brand new in terms of guiding values in my mind and in my heart and in my soul as a man. Freedom and pride. Freedom. This is a different freedom. This freedom that I'm aiming to use now as my fuel source. Granted, this isn't easy. It's not easy to change your fuel source, and we can talk all about that another day, but it's not easy. But this is the freedom, or this is the fuel source now. This is the value that it feels true. It's not that I changed overnight, but now I'm just starting to look up for my behaviors and go, dude, what direction are you headed? You're headed in the direction of lust and significance and competition. Do you want that, or is there a different direction? And as I've really conversed with myself on that, I found there is a different direction. As I look up, my eyes grow larger when I see freedom and pride. It speaks to the man I want to be. And this freedom is different, man. This freedom is a lot different than the freedom I had pursued before. The freedom I had pursued before was kind of like like a teenager freedom, like an adolescent freedom. Like I want to do whatever I want, right? And that's what I underlined over here. I want to do whatever the fuck I want with no limits. That was my freedom. That was, 16-year-old Brax. Freedom for him was as much money to do whatever the fuck he wanted with no limits, man. To go and to consume and to engage in debauchery, baby, 24/7. 24/7. No, this freedom feels different. Here's what I have as some notes by the word freedom. I want to have the money to go with friends and family on great adventures. I want to go exercise my freedom to go and see all the world and to freely enjoy my time not working. The freedom to enjoy time not working. I love to work, but this is the freedom to enjoy my time not working. I want to be free. The ability to work, the ability to not work. Working hard, being disciplined with my God-given talents will get me there. Freedom. That freedom to me feels like it's within wisdom, within understanding, within some life experience. It's like, yeah. You can say I want to have freedom to do whatever the fuck I want all the time. But there are some things you're talking about there, Brax, that you can't be free of. You can't be free of your sexual energy and how that affects your ability to have relationships. You can't do whatever the fuck you want with tons of women and also still have what you fucking want, which is a relationship with a woman and a relationship with the mother of your children one day. You can't do whatever the fuck you want. So grow up. This freedom doesn't feel like that. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. This freedom feels like being able to go, being able to see, being able to experience the things in life that are available to people who are willing to delay gratification, physical well-being, emotional well-being, the ability to go and see other places, the ability to take your family on experiences and adventures, the ability to go see some elephants live, baby, live action, some elephants with your family. I want the freedom to be able to have children and be able to watch them grow up and to be able to make sure that there are some cool shit that I get to do as a dad. That's the freedom I want, man. And I want freedom. This is truly another level to this. I want freedom to do what I want. I have found that my relationship to pornography is not a free relationship. It's a a servanthood. It's a slavehood. I got to do this shit because I have this compulsive need. I have found my relationship to work over the last 2 years is a slavehood. It's a workaholic. It is, I have to work, right? I have to work. That's why I put in here. I want to be free to enjoy my time not working. I want to be a free man. God, I'm going to underline that because I want to just emphasize how much that is an important Easter egg in this journey. Guys, gals, workaholics alike, what up, my people? How you doing? How's it hitting, man? How you feeling today? Are you driving? Did you catch the big fish? How's it feeling? It feels good, right? Workaholics all over the world. Are you free? And by are you free, I mean, can you work as hard as you want? And can you not work when you don't want to work? Can you not work? Can you not drink? Or do you got to? Can you not engage in hookups? Can you not engage in frivolous spending on rendezvous that you know aren't good for you or your family? Are you free in that way? Men who I'm talking to right now, because I'm a man, are you free to choose what you want to do? Or do you answer to the beck and call of your impulses, of your addictions, of behaviors that you haven't got a leash on? Freedom. I'm reminded by the book Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willink. I've never read it before, but I've listened to him talk about it, around it, on the front and the back of it. Easy decisions, hard life. Hard decisions, easy life, right? Freedom, true freedom. Not the freedom of an addict to shove whatever you want in your arm, to do whatever you want with your time, but the freedom of a king, the freedom of a man who is disciplined, a man who has his impulses at his fingertips. And the second thing, and then we'll get this thing on the ground. We're going to land this plane. You can tell I went to church growing up. Pride. The things I used to do got me what I wanted at the time. Lust. The rush of achievement. Excitement. We're so close. We're going to make this thing awesome. But in reality, I didn't feel pride. I didn't feel pride of what I was building and what I was doing. I felt excitement. I felt rush. And then I would discard that thing and on to the next thing that gets me high. I'll be, we got to do this. Okay. Oh, we got to do this. Okay. We're going to do this. Now I got 2 companies. I got this, and then I'm going to take this out, do this. It's fast talking, fast moving, all about the rush, baby. But I didn't feel pride. I didn't feel the sense of, yeah. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel like I'm the man. I didn't feel like I'm proud of who I am. I felt like I'm sounding impressive. I felt like I was impressive to other people. But inside, I didn't have the kind of pride that a good father, a good leader, or a good lover feels. It's not arrogant. It's not boastful, baby. It's pride. It's knowing. You're the man. It's knowing that. I never had that. The type of pride that comes with having resources, abilities, and strengths that came from long-term work and sacrifice. Pride, not excitement. Freedom and pride are the 2 things that are driving me, that are starting to become my fuel source, and I am so happy about this because I can see the ways that manifest in my life. I can see the ways that it's not the work that I'm doing, but the fuel that I'm using to do the work, how that impacts the life around me and how that puts me in a different place in the future. So examine the fuel source you're using. Let's close this thing down. Let's close it down. I've started to see that the life I want is going to require I be a better man, more responsible, more disciplined, and even further healed from the wounds of my adolescence. And I'm up for the challenge. It's been difficult to swap the fuel source. It's been like relearning a lift with the right technique. It feels weak at first. Feels like trying to relearn to shoot a basketball. It feels weird at first. But in the long term, I can see how much different my life looks. The greatest gift I've gotten from the last 1 to 2 years is a feeling of a new lease on life. I used to know what my life looked like. I knew what it was going to look like. I was going to make money all the time. Obviously, never really have a close romantic relationship, but I would enjoy the bachelor rich guy lifestyle forever, baby. It would never change, but would last for my life. I knew what my life looked like. Like, this is it. This is life, Brax. And I wasn't mad at it at the time. It seemed fun. But now, as a response to this healing that I've gone through, and thankfully being able to now reconcile my natural God-given talents, my work behaviors, my enthusiasms, my creativity, being able to take that and repurpose it now with new updated fuel. Now I see family, children, purpose, and chapters as myself and my family grow and change in the future. I see myself becoming a father, a dad, a husband, and that's like a whole new adventure. It's also a whole new purpose to use my God-given talents of business and creativity for. And that, my friends, is awesome. Lesson from today. Update the fuel source. Update it. Take some time. Think about it. Don't prolong your life development, your life purpose, baby, by being driven by the thing you could have been long healed from by now. In the next episode, thanks so much for listening to this one. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for listening to me. I can't tell you how much this podcast means to me to be able to spend the time to put my thoughts, to put my experiences under the microscope and to really do a lot of self-discovery and then be able to feel the pride and the beauty of sharing that with you. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. On the next episode, I want to talk about how discipline and responsibility might actually be the missing ingredient in me creating the life that I really long for. That is going to be a great episode, and I look forward to sharing it with you, the listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, shoot me a message on Instagram. Tell me what you think about this show. Tell me what you think about the episodes. Drop me a rating on the show if you don't mind. If you like it. If you don't like it, don't drop a rating. Okay, that's how it goes. 5 stars or nothing, baby. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Let's Keep Talking. I am out.